How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Tour Life. Today is Tuesday, March 24th, and we got a tournament coming up this weekend. We're going to be talking about it. We got hills, we got picks, we got interesting team names for the preserve. We got it all this week, and we're coming to you live. So thanks for everyone that jumped in, and I'm joined by always Gary. I know Yuli may or may not be able to make it tonight. He has some stuff with his foundation. Obviously, being in Charlotte this week, he's a very busy man. But Gary, how are you doing, brother?
Doing pretty well. This past weekend, I ran from start to finish my first ever tournament as a tournament director. I've done I've done front end stuff. I've been a part of tournament directing teams, but this is the first time that every bit of the back end stuff was me, and it was a interesting experience, but a lot of fun, ton of fun.
I was gonna say we a lot of times give tournaments harsh time, right? Like we normally don't really ever give praise to tournament directors. Normally it's just when something doesn't work out. So what was it like being on the other side? Was it harder than you thought it would be?
I think that there are certain things that definitely aren't easy, and it's because, believe it or not, part of it's the system. I don't think that the PDGA's back end tournament system is as intuitive as it could be. There's ways they could definitely improve it. But just the general, to see the people from the other side, so you get to the end of the event and you're there trying to get all the payouts organized, and there's people who they want their payout now because they want to leave. And it's just like, hey, you're slowing this down for everyone. So just hold tight for a few minutes. But having to sit there and watch people play and not play myself took a little bit to get used to, but it was so nice to go around and enjoy seeing other people do it, because I got to actually design a couple temp holes for this event. So I was super curious to see how they would play in terms of overall fairness and whatnot. So it was fun. I had one random guy check in and then he never showed up to his hole. I don't even know. He may be in a ditch somewhere. I never heard from him. Never heard from him at all. He just didn't show up.
Well, hopefully he's doing okay.
I know. 15 minutes after check-in, he's gone. Just a smoke in the wind.
Very, 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 very interesting. Okay. This week I did want to bring something up because I feel like you have very good takes and opinions on things. So I wanted to bring this up, and PDGA Mike, please jump in too if you have thoughts on this. So I recently was on the Dude Perfect podcast.
Yep.
And we were talking about, trick shots. We were talking about all sorts of stuff, and they brought up ultimate frisbee. And what the question was posed, is ultimate frisbee a sport? And it got clipped and posted, and I think it ended up kind of making the rounds into the ultimate frisbee sphere. And first off, I don't know how I feel about the world we are currently living in, because I think we live in a world where people, they want to be the victim. A lot of people want to be the victim. They want to, what's the word? They want to feel like they don't even listen to what's actually being said. They just assume, or they already have a thought in their head, and they just go full tilt on that. Because what was basically said was, everyone on the podcast, we all said that ultimate frisbee was a sport. We thought ultimate frisbee was a sport. I continued on, and this is, I think, the part that maybe hurt some people's feelings. And I'm curious to you, is this actually a hurtful thing to say? If I said something isn't ever going to be popular, is that a negative thing to say? Or does the context matter? If I say ultimate frisbee is never going to be a popular sport, is that negative because it's talking about ultimate frisbee as a sport, versus me saying banana ice cream is never going to be popular? I feel like if I say banana ice cream is never going to be popular, people are going to have crazy hatred for that statement. But for some reason, me stating that ultimate frisbee is never going to be a popular sport. And by popular, I'm talking about football, basketball, hockey, baseball, soccer, all these sports.
Yeah.
Is that Kenny says I'm thinking too much into it. How am I thinking too much into it, Kenny?
I think so much of it is contextual because I mean, while there may be somebody out there who's championing, who's like the major champion for banana ice cream and is trying really hard to make it the best ice cream flavor in the world, there aren't people who are dedicating their lives to trying to push banana ice cream to be the number one ice cream. But there are people who are trying really hard and working really hard and putting their livelihoods within ultimate frisbee. But what I'll say is this: it's still just an opinion. Like I don't think it's an unfair thing to say that something in the world of all the other sports that exist, it's not going to be as popular as those things. So like while you're trying to say
How
it's
is
not going to be as popular as the other sports, people are hearing that as, oh, what I do doesn't matter. So because people tend to overreact to stuff.
Yeah, Kenny, no, I trust me. My wife she brought it up at one point. And I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't really care. And then she like 2 minutes later was like, I said something and she's like, "Oh, are you talking about the comment?" And I was like, "What comment?" And she was like, "Oh, the comment on the disc golf on the ultimate frisbee thing." I was like, "Oh, I've already forgotten about that." Like this stuff I forget about really quickly. I literally just put it in my notes because it is something interesting. I got people coming after me claiming that disc golf is an easy sport to get good at. People come after me there. And again, like I'm okay with people having a different opinion, right? If you want to say, you know what, I actually think disc golf is a very challenging sport to get good at. That's fine. We can have a difference of opinion on that. Same thing with if you think ultimate frisbee is going to be a popular sport, I think that's fine. Difference of opinion, all good. I think it's weird, and I think there might be some sort of like, what's the word I'm thinking about? Like, I think it's like you're saying, Gary, is like you're connected to the sport. And if anyone comes after the sport in a way, you take it personally.
Yeah.
Because I love banana Laffy Taffy. I know it's not, I know it's not, but it's not the most popular flavor. I know that. And I think it's interesting if I said I love banana Laffy Taffy and someone goes, "Oh, no one loves banana Laffy Taffy," I don't immediately have this victim of like, "Are you an idiot? You have the worst taste buds ever. You don't know what you're talking about." And there's people, and here's the other thing that's really funny about ultimate frisbee is like ultimate frisbee doesn't really have a great history. Like there's not a it's not like some other sports where you can go watch other people play or really stuff gets passed along, right? If towards the end of my career, towards the beginning of my career in ultimate frisbee, I got to see some incredible ultimate frisbee players that were towards like the end of their career. If I went up and asked someone, "Hey, do you know who Alex Nord is in ultimate frisbee?" I don't know that many people would know who Alex Nord is. Like great players don't pass along like in other sports. And I don't know I think disc golf might be a little bit different because there is a little bit more history and we do talk about it. There's more podcasts, there's more journalism, I think, versus ultimate frisbee. But I think I'm now in that realm. I think there are now players that play ultimate frisbee that don't know who I am. And now I'm starting to get phased out because there were people in the comments coming after me being like, these guys couldn't play a single point of ultimate frisbee. They don't know what they're talking. One guy said, "Cleat up, brother. I'll show you that ultimate frisbee is a sport."
I think
Which first off, I said ultimate frisbee is a sport. I don't know why you're coming at me.
My least favorite retort to anything ever is because you aren't the best in the world at it, you don't get to have an opinion. I really dislike that. The idea of, oh, because you aren't a pro in the Pro Tour, you can't talk about the Pro Tour, or because I could beat you in this thing, your opinion doesn't matter. Like opinions are something that everybody has, and if you can't handle an opinion, then It is what it is. And I bet you if you took most people and put them on a podcast platform and put the lights and the camera on them, they'd have an opinion that would really rock the world
Yes.
of somebody else. So it's just like, it's just a thing. But I do think we are kind of in a society now where everything has to be taken so personally, and we can't separate ourselves from idea and reality. They have to be the same thing for everyone. And no one takes context anymore. So they're watching just a segment or a clip of you saying something without going and feeling like they've watched the entire thing to understand
The thing is
all the thought around it.
This wasn't something that you could take out of context.
Yeah,
I said Ultimate Frisbee was a sport.
I think that the first of all, banana Laffy Taffy is the best flavor. Just so we're clear.
It's good.
But I don't think that's a good necessarily one-to-one opinion on this, just because or comparison, just because no one's like physically invested or like emotionally invested or like been training your whole life to become the best banana Laffy Taffy eater. So in that sense, it can hurt someone's feelings. I'm like comparing it to, I saw a documentary for the UFC, and someone right when Dana White bought the UFC, or whatever it was when he bought it, I don't remember exactly. Friends, family, everyone close to me, like, you're an idiot. Like, this is never going to be popular. Like, this is never going to be big. And he said that like that made him so mad and fueled him, and like really he took that personally. So I think like if you were going to somebody who was trying, like, and you just went and your intent was like, you're making a mistake, this is never going to be popular, like, what are you doing wasting your time? Like, if that was like the intent. But if you're just on a podcast talking about like sports do you think are going to be popular and not popular, then it's just an opinion. And
but this is an interesting. I want to read some of these comments, so keep these comments coming, guys, because some of these are really good. We're gonna read it. But Mike, you bring up a good point, because I think again though there's a difference between what you just said. He bought a company. Clearly, if you have a company, you're trying to be profitable. You're trying to make that a great thing. So someone saying this is never going to be popular, that's tough. When I got into Ultimate Frisbee, I didn't care. Now, obviously, would have been cool if we went and played in front of 100,000 people in a stadium. Yeah, the majority of the time we were playing in front of a couple friends and family. Like I didn't play Ultimate Frisbee for it to become popular. That's, I think, where it's weird is when people. It's like me saying, you know what? We talked about the puzzle thing. You remember like the puzzle competitions? If I was like, hey, if you were into the puzzle competitions and I said, hey, these puzzle competitions are never going to be popular, you'd be like, yeah, no duh, but I love them.
That's why like a lot of people probably like what that's
and that's not. The other thing. Yeah. A lot of people like music that's not popular.
Right when you said this, I thought about music. Like if someone told me a certain band I like is never going to be popular, I'm like, good, I don't want it to be on the radio.
I like it. And I'm getting a lot of, you see this big truck show up, and then this 5'6" guy comes out of the truck. That's what I'm getting from a lot of these comments.
I think these very niche, community-driven sports that like are on the fringe of like kind of being known by people other than who are playing it.
Cares?
They're just like they take it very like if you would have said that on a disc golf podcast other than this one, and everyone knows your opinion already about disc golf, so like it wouldn't have been jarring. But like if somebody else comes on a podcast with a lot of people watching and it gets clipped up, all disc golfers would do the same thing to some extent.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's like an internal. If Joe Rogan said something negative about disc golf, it was like, this is never going to be popular, I'm going to be like, yeah, it's banana Laffy Taffy. It's in my opinion, it's to say like I'm in the minority.
Well, you might be, but you're aware. That's your opinion already.
I know that I'm in the minority. Like disc golf is not.
If Joe Rogan said that and it got clipped and got put into disc golf discussion on Facebook, people would freak out. People would be freaking out. What does he know? Blah blah blah. Like, so I think it's just like kind of like a reflection of people's like passion and like how quickly they're offended if like people don't see the same thing the way they see it. But
I think I think it's reflected too also in how you feel about yourself. Because if someone came up to me and was like, "Dude, you're not really good looking," I'd be like, "Yeah, I know." But if I thought if I was super insecure about my cankles or something, right? If I was super insecure about it and someone came up to me and goes, dude, you're never going to be a good athlete, you have cankles, then I'm going to be like, what did you say? Instead, it's like, I know that it's just the insecurities it's the
Well,
insecurities they're coming out.
It might be, but I
What it
also think
is.
like try to think of it. So like, let's say because you have to also remember people don't think the same thing about, like, I'm just going to use disc golf as an example.
Yeah.
So like there's people who think disc golf is going to become a mainstream sport. They are waiting for it to happen. They think when it does, good things will happen to them. So with them thinking that, if you just go and dismiss that, then that's probably why they're upset.
And I don't think it's always,
but it's just like a lack of awareness is really what it is.
But it's also not always grounded in insecurity either. There's like, you could really work hard at something and you're not insecure about it, and someone in a position that has merit with their voice and their like, or power, whatever, may say something isn't great, and it's not insecurity to go, man, that stings. You know, it may be insecurity to react to it like childishly, that kind of thing. But like,
yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's what I was saying, Gary. It's like if someone said something negative about something that I loved, I'm okay with people coming after it at that point. But when you say like, oh, you think blah blah blah, how about you lace them up and let me show you, like, that is an insecurity. Like, when you're attacking the person and not the person's opinion.
Exactly.
I think that's where the insecurity comes in.
Well, and to be clear, if you would have said on that podcast that Banana Laffy Taffy was the best flavor, someone would have been giving you hate. Like, so like, you know, like, I think it's just like this, the very loud minority, just like on politics on Twitter, just like everything, like the very fringe people are the ones who are making the most noise. Like, I'm sure 95% of people who heard you say that, who have anything to do with Ultimate Frisbee, were like, he's probably right.
Yeah, you're probably, I mean, yeah.
What you do is you take Banana Laffy Taffy and you lay it on top of strawberry and you eat them together.
Ooh, like a smoothie thing going on there.
I have a new tradition. Every other week, I buy a half gallon of banana pudding ice cream.
Okay.
And it's insanely good. Bluebell banana pudding. My gosh. Okay. Frisbee Flicker says this channel will never be popular. Is my opinion negative? No, I don't think that's I think that's an opinion. And again, that's one that I would agree. I don't think a podcast on a very niche sport will ever be popular. Now, could it be popular for the podcast about the niche sport, like in its category? 100%.
Sure.
But will this ever be a popular sports podcast? No shot. Flag football isn't a sport. I disagree with that.
That's tough.
It's not football. It's definitely not football, but
no,
but it's still sport.
I saw some clips. That was kind of crazy. Like, I did not even think about the drop, like dropping to the floor being like a technique to not get your flag. That's crazy. Good Brad says people that only consume certain niche sports get really butthurt with the negativity thrown at their sport. Now, here's the thing though. That is true. But again, I think it's one of those things of where, for whatever reason, and I'll be the first to say, if I was good enough to play basketball, golf, tennis, football, like if I was good enough to play those sports at a high level in high school and then be able to do it in college, I probably would not have played Ultimate Frisbee. And I think that's a lot of people. I think a lot of people are the same way. And I think it's the people that are in that position, like they're playing disc golf because they're not able to play any other sport, but they, in their mind, think like, oh, I could have been a professional, blah, 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 all this other stuff. I think those sometimes are the people, because like, if you told the guy that did free solo, Alex, if you told him, hey dude, rock climbing is kind of lame. Like that's pretty lame what you do. I don't think he would give a rip. No. And he's the best because like he doesn't care what your opinion is. Your opinion means nothing to him. And so I think it's when people put weight in other people's opinion, I think that shows that there's something inside of them that they're not confident in. That's my thought. Your opinions are called your 2 cents for a reason. Opinions aren't worth much. Very true. There was a couple other good comments I wanted to pull out real quick. Hold on. Cheerleading for the Raiders is lame. Honestly, it is super tough to cheerlead for the Raiders because you're like going in knowing that they're going to lose.
Not a lot of opportunities to cheer.
Yeah, Let's see here. Gen Z or whiny? Well, I think a lot. I don't know. Let's see.
A lot of
here.
people are whiny. If you dig
Yeah,
deep,
I see a lot of old heads getting
everyone's
mad
whiny.
stuff too. I don't think it's just
Yeah, I
generational.
think it's everyone.
Yeah, Gen Z has the attention span of a goldfish, but they're everyone's whiny.
I think some of the people who were hurt by this are in the chat. A lot of butthurt people in here, says Good Brad. The cop out. Let's see. The cop out that it's just the kids who act that way is wild. Yeah, no, it's pretty much everyone.
Exactly, everyone does it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing because I do think if anything, it's a little off-putting for people to. I don't know. You just don't ever really see like if someone said football's lame. Yeah, I guess
People do.
I guess people would come after this.
Or like I'm thinking about baseball, like because baseball's a pretty like acquired taste.
I guess it's no matter where you are, there's going to be butthurt people all over.
A lot of people think baseball's boring, and if you go on something and said baseball's boring, like you're going to get a lot of hate. So I think
you're right. I think it's just in general, but maybe it just feels bigger in the sports that aren't as popular because there's a lot more. There's not a lot of the praising going on from the masses, right? So maybe that's what it is.
You should try taking a real small stance on something just to see how minute the butthurt gets.
Can disc golf get into the Olympics? Asked Lars. I think it could. I think it could. I think the biggest issue with that, or one of the, not the biggest issue, I would say a positive to it is team sports very hard to get into the Olympics because of the expense. If you, for example, for ultimate frisbee, you have to have a roster. That's why I always thought sand ultimate frisbee, like beach ultimate, had a better chance than just the normal 7-on-7 ultimate, because you could have a roster of 6 people, where 7-on-7 you probably need to have a roster of like 14. Where disc golf, you could be very similar to golf. You just have, one person, maybe 2 people represent your country, and you have 20 countries there. That's 20 people. So it's definitely doable. The biggest thing with that would just be the filming. But I think the live, the being there in person would be pretty sick.
Yeah,
if there was like 20 people.
They did a really good job with the World Games. I don't see how that format couldn't definitely be used in an Olympic setting. And if we're gonna let Laser Gun or whatever her name is and do breakdancing, we can definitely handle disc golf in the Olympics.
Is that going to be in the Olympics next time? That was a debacle.
I mean, how many countries are represented in disc golf now? That's the one thing I'd be curious to know. Is
I think a lot of times that's the thing that holds back sports from being eligible, is you have to have an organization. I think it is. I think you have to have is that how they call it? An organization? You have to have something for the sport to be in there. But all right. Well, I just thought that was an interesting topic to bring up.
Yeah.
But let's jump in to King of the Hill. First look of King of the Hill this year. We won't have Yuli on here, so maybe we can do another one here soon, like maybe in a couple of weeks, for have Yuli's opinion. But let's just run it through, Gary. Let's see where you're at, and it'll give us a good look on who you like potentially for Queen City.
Yeah, so I'll say this, that the Hill is a little bit violent right now because we don't have every player in the field up to this point this season. And while I could easily just sit back and go, oh, Silva should be at the top of the list or Silva should be here, we haven't seen her yet. So take that in mind when you see players on this list. Also, based upon where it's a combination of where they're finishing, how we're feeling. Yes, it is time to roast Gary. Let's go with level 1 or the bottom of the hill for FPO. Here I've got Hannah Wynn, Sophia Donica, Kat Merch, and Ida Nessa. Kat Merch, we've only seen a little bit from her this season. Technically, if you went by just sheer standings alone, she could be outside of this list. However, based on the people above her that are real close and her skill set, I think she has to be on here. Sophia Donica only played Supreme Flight. She got 7th place. I think she is generally one of the better competitors in the field right now, if you kind of remove the European field that has not played yet from this. And I think Hannah Wynn has some big things that she's capable of doing this year. Just it's that finishing the event that like one hole separated her at Supreme Flight from being in the top 3. One single hole. And then Ida's played great, 9th and 10th across 2 events. Solid, difficult courses, solid competition. I think she deserves a spot on the hill. Moving up to the 3rd level, we've got Lisa Fakis, who's put down a 4th and a tied for 2nd. I can't not have her on the hill somewhere. She's played really, really well. Jessica Gerthy's been solid so far with an 8th and a 6th, showcasing that she's got some awesome talent. And then Val's been solid this year with a 13th and a tied for 2nd. Super competitive. Next layer on the list is probably where the first like statistical controversy can come into play, and that's that Missy is not technically better statistically than Fakis is, but I think you and I both know eye test wise, I think Missy deserves to be one level above Lisa Fakis, even though the finishes for Fakis are technically better. Own is here on this level. Yes. Has she won 5 A tiers and a pro tour this year so far? Is she on fire? Absolutely. I like Holland Hanley at the top better than Owen Scoggins right now. I think 1st and 2nd weighs a little bit better than 1st and 4th. So I've got Holland Hanley at the top, Owen and Missy in tier 2, and we've got the rest here. If you throw in people like Silva Saarinen, she definitely exists somewhere here, probably on the 3rd tier. If I'm like judging this without seeing a body of work this season at all,
there's a lot of Europeans that
yeah
are probably going to make splashes soon.
Exactly. Especially like I'm really the most curious, I think, about Evelina, because we are seeing the videos of a changed putt form. And so it's not just like a thing that she altered or tweaked a little bit. And like we have some videos of her makes only. It does look like she's changed a lot of her form. So I think she'll be on here somewhere. The hardest one for me was Anniken Sten, I think, is really close to here. So it's like, do I put her in front of like Ida or maybe Kat Merch? But the numbers didn't, and we only had one event with Anniken. So this is my 4 layers of the Queen of the Hill. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see a big shakeup. We kind of talked about this a little bit on debate night, which will be coming out later this week, about how the influx of Europeans, we're going to start seeing more of them come over. And on the MPO side, I don't think it's going to be that big of a splash. Now, obviously, I think I still believe Nicholas to be one of the top 5-6 players in the world. So you are adding another big name there. But when you're talking about FPO, I mean, there are just so many women. There are so many women on the European side that could actually win tournaments. And, we don't know if Hannah has also improved her putting, because that's something that has caused her to lose tournaments down the stretch. You have Evelina, Silva, obviously. And then Anniken has also shown that she can win. So there's 4 women that are coming over on the FPO side just right there. Obviously, there's a couple other names too that might be jumping up as well. But I think that's where this could you could see easily 4 of these people not on the hill very soon.
Yeah, and there's some notable people there. Like I see some comments here about Ella Hansen. Yes, you could make an argument. Her finishes are 6th and 14th, very similar to a few other people. People are throwing out Taylor Chosik's name. I just can't agree, because I cannot judge off of one event.
Yeah,
I can't do it. And if you're comparing Taylor,
she would be there if you'd made this after Supreme Flight.
Yes, she would get a spot on here. I don't know where I'd put her. She wouldn't be on tier 2, maybe tier 3. Just because the putting and the driving was solid. But like, we have not seen enough from Taylor. We've seen enough of Taylor to know that she has some consistency issues, more than we've seen enough to know that she is a baller on the FPO side. But I say all this, I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love for her to come out and just dominate at Queen City, and then I have to eat my word when she gets up here. But
that's Cadence, a good one. Where's Cadence?
Cadence let's see, what was her finish?
How's she done?
23rd and 16th. So if there was a fifth layer, maybe she'd be there, but
yeah, not great start.
Just not quite there yet. So I can't. Not everything here is based off of just the 2 events. There's some past receipts, but like I'm also not saying that just because I know Cadence is one of the better players on tour that she automatically gets a pass of the first 2 events and gets to be on here.
Yeah, no, I think that's a solid start of the season, Hill.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, MPO side, king of the hill.
MPO was tricky because of certain player positions. So here on tier, we're going one extra tier for the MPO. I've got Sullivan Tipton. I got Luke Taylor here. Statistically, you could argue for Taylor to be higher, but like the first event wasn't great. His putting definitely could use some work, but you can't put your nose up at a 4th place finish at a hard course. Kyle Klein. Got Chris Dickerson. I saw the comment earlier that Gary has a crush on Chris Dickerson. I don't, just as some decent finishes this year already. And I'm putting Joel Freeman here.
Joel Freeman.
He's my flyer because if you look at a lot of the other players in like the top 20 that are currently there, Freeman got 9th at Supreme Flight. He did not play Big Easy. And we now know that I think he's back to being like healthy again, or because he had a lot of injury issues last season. So I'm putting him as a flyer there at the bottom. He's kind of the one like little toss up.
Yeah, not that long ago he was a top 10 guy. Like
exactly.
He was a top 10 player. Now obviously some players have gotten a lot better. There's a couple of new players on tour that weren't on tour when he was back there, but
yeah,
like his skill set, it wasn't like he was just finishing because there was no one else there. He was competing with a lot of the guys that are going to be probably at the top of this list. So I like seeing Joel Freeman on there.
Plus with the events that we've had, the finishes have been volatile. So like you can't just look at the first 2 events. So let's go ahead and go to the next layer here. We got Calvin and AB. This is probably the most controversial part of the list. Because
Calvin,
and Niklas is here.
And Niklas,
if you look at the finishes so far this year, this is where it's like, if I just go off of finishes alone, they probably don't even make the list, right? So I have to combine the fact that we know they're good players, because I get the reaction from people in the chat. I'm not just picking who I think the best players in the planet are, because if I did that, then they wouldn't be here. But if you combine the fact of how they've done so far this year, like tell me, anyone in the chat who's screaming AB, tell me you have confidence all of a sudden that AB is going to win this weekend. Or are you wavering because of the first 2 events? And if the answer is yes, you're wavering, then you can't be at the top of the pyramid. It's just kind of how it goes. But Buckets has played pretty well. Niklas has played 1 event this season so far. He got 15th place. We need to see a little more. But this is a combination of play we've seen and what we know. So what we know keeps Calvin and AB on the list.
Are you taking more into account, like, is it 80% performance in these 2 events and then 20% of what we've seen from them last year? Is that like, what would you put the weight of what would you put the weight of what you're counting here?
So I'll put it this way. If it was based solely on what we've seen, body of work, lifetime, they'd be a lot higher. If it was based solely on this season, they wouldn't be on the list because they haven't played well enough. So I'm probably going to say it's like in the 50-50-ish range. It kind of gets to that right in the middle, and then it's a feel thing at that point,
okay.
you know? So next tier up, here we go. We got Isaac Robinson, who's played pretty solid this season so far, and we know he's got a good body of work before that. Adam Hammes, a 7th and a 9th at these events is pretty solid. And then Goose has been pretty decent with a 9th and an 8th. So these 3 kind of exist all in that. They've got 2 top 10 finishes, and we know they're decent players. This is where they're at. And that's what it is. The other players, we know they have good bodies of work, but they haven't done well this year. So that's why they're a tier below them. Give me both those things 1 week and they'll flip. But that's where we're at right now. And yes, I put Goose ahead of Dickerson because 2 events. And then up the list, we got Ricky and Paul. Paul's only played 1 event this year, but I think we saw that in that event, he came out really solid. was a competitor to the finish. And yeah, Ricky, one of the best starts we've seen from Ricky in a long time. I think we know who's at the top of the list. I'm putting Gannon over Ricky. Of the two of them, I'm still picking Gannon over Ricky. If my money's on the line for an event right now, it's still Gannon over Ricky. But the two of those could be interchangeable for people. Based on the conversation we just had earlier about people getting butthurt, there's people who really hate the fact that Ricky's not number one on that list right now. Yep. So
yeah, I mean, I think it can go either way. Yeah. Recency bias probably leans toward Gannon. Also, maybe a more challenging course leans, win on a more challenging course leans to Gannon. But yeah, I mean, I don't think if you put Ricky up there, there would be that much people going crazy. But I do think if you are going 50-50 of like this year and a little bit of last year, then obviously you have to go Gannon over Ricky.
Yeah. And someone said, like, is Chandler Kramer better start than Avian Calvin? For sure. But that he's the one who suffers from the body of work.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, no one knows the actual formula Gary's using, guys. That's why
right.
It's called King of the Hill.
That's right.
No one
I challenge
knows.
you. I challenge all you out there. If you think you have a better list, put it in the comments. I'll take a look at it. Maybe next week I'll see if there's someone who's
And what would be the fun if we knew what the formula was? We would already know who's on King of the Hill.
That's right. It's a rich tapestry.
Yeah. No one has any idea. No one has any idea. And that's why we love it. Well, Yuli's not on here to critique it, but maybe we'll get his critique of it after Queen City. And maybe we'll be proven right with some of your picks, and maybe we'll be proven wrong with some of your picks. Only time will tell there, Gary. All right. We are jumping into this week's picks, and we're doing it first.
Yeah.
We're going first this time.
Ooh.
The boys over on Foundation did say, over on Grip Locked did say their strategy is going to be they're going to make their picks, and then they're going to cross those picks out, and then they're going to make new picks. And I think that's an interesting strategy. One, because it's going to be nearly impossible for them not to, they know that's what they're doing.
Yep.
So it's going to be nearly impossible for them not to have bias of picking someone. I think it's going to be impossible for that to be an actual legitimate experiment. And then on top of that, what if their new pick is someone that we picked? Then what?
Yeah.
Now what do they do? So we could put up an absolute blender this week, but let's see what we got going. We don't have our bread and butter Yuli, who is, he would be the best boots on the ground guy. I mean, this course is in his backyard.
We saw what his boots on the ground said about Aaron Gossage last week, and we saw what happened with that little side.
I mean, that was very close. It was very
close. No, that was tough. That was tough. For someone who's asking in the chat, red means that they fell down a spot. Green means they went up, and Edwin is adjusting these weekly now, not like every 5 or 6 events. So we're getting live updates constantly. Shout out to Edwin for putting it together.
Yep. So Edwin Stats killing it. Why does Val? Oh, is that because we don't know that's Val?
No, it's because it used to be a picture of Alexis.
Oh, yes. Okay. So this kind of shows Ricky jumping up to that $7 tier. I think this is the first time anyone has ever joined Gannon in the $7 tier. So very, very interesting. Ricky just got a lot more expensive. So let's do FPO first here. I mean, I guess, Gary, if you know anything about the course, please do tell now, because I did play the course back when I was, I don't remember what year it was. Whatever year it was, the Tour Championship was there. I did end up going over there and playing it that week. I don't remember really that much of it. I do know it's decently wooded for a decent amount of it, but other than that, I don't know too much.
The course itself is generally the same in terms of like the actual holes themselves, but they've completely adjusted the order. I think the distance is almost the same as it was last year for the match play. It's just they've changed. So now, you know how after hole 1, you go to that like island hole for hole 2 or the peninsula, whatever it is. That's now hole 16. Hole 17 is the big like around the stretch down by that bridge hole, and hole 18 is the one that has you kind of thrown through the park and ends on that elevated basket on top of that hill with the big death drop off.
Oh, that's a nice hole 18.
Yeah, so they've adjusted that setup.
Okay.
Otherwise, the course is still the same in terms of it's a combination of like park style and wooded.
Yeah.
You need distance, you need accuracy, you need a little bit of everything. It's a great course, I think, for an event.
Okay, so let's go FPO. We have not picked Holland Hanley yet this year.
Correct.
Is this the tournament we pick for Holland Hanley?
It's possible. It's crazy to me that we could still get owned for $4.
Do we go? God, Evelina is the most dark horse pick of all times because, like, when I'm looking at that, I don't think Own and Evelina should be in the $4 with the other ladies in the $4.
Yeah, they separate them because that's the problem with picking Own is that if I have to pick somebody else in the $4 tier, Evelina is the only one that I want to pick, but she's just so risky because of her first event over here.
What if she's absolutely disgusting at putting now?
She could be.
Here's the thing, though. She's won, and she hasn't been absolutely disgusting at putting either.
I know. That's the crazy part.
So it's like, to me, it's like if you go here's the thing. If you go the $7 tier, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how confident I feel about anyone winning or really even getting in the top 3 in the $2 tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
So, and then especially in the $1 tier, it's like that's gonna be tough to even maybe find someone to get in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, if you go $7, you could theoretically you'll definitely get points from the $7 person.
Yep.
And then you might not get any points from the $2 and the $1. And if you don't pick the winner from the $7, you're kind of screwed.
Exactly.
So do we go Own Evelina? Because here's the thing, it's going to be a thrower's course. I mean, in the FPO side, it's so advantageous for being able to throw on difficult courses. And I think this is going to be a difficult course for the FPO. So, Own Evelina,
and
then like this $2 one. I don't hate Hannah here.
Hannah. I say Hannah pops off the list for me. I'm a little worried about lefties on this course, so I tend to shy away from like Annika and Hannah could be the choice there.
Yeah, Lisa Fakis has been playing well too.
She has. She's second and fourth. So
Kenny, we can't do 2 1s. You have to pick 3 players.
Yeah.
So 3 players total.
I think we both agree.
Let's lock in Hannah. Let's lock in Hannah.
Okay.
So we're gonna go Own, Evelina, and Hannah.
Yep.
For FPO.
Yep. And I'm gonna bet you money that they're gonna go a $7. They're gonna pick Lisa and somebody else, and this is gonna be the one week that Lisa goes a little off her pace.
We'll see. We'll see. I'll be interested to see what they do. Okay. Now let's go MPO side.
Have we chosen Ricky this year yet?
We have picked Ricky. We have not picked Gannon, I don't think.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is the one where the $7 makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because the $4 one, 2 $4. Because I think here you could go Gannon or Ricky, whichever one you're feeling.
Yeah.
And then you could go Goose. You could go Dickerson
right now. You could go, because Dickerson's won at this track before.
Yep. Goose, Dickerson would probably be the 2 that I like on that one.
Yep.
And then the $1, you could go like Marweed.
Yeah, or even
Matty
Matty
O.
get a good Bayou time.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this the week that we go Gannon?
I think,
or do you think Gannon's gonna like? Do you think? I don't know. Do you think?
Rick, it's tough because Ricky also does well on this track too. But I think you're gonna get points from Gannon no matter when you pick them.
You're gonna get points from both Ricky and Gannon.
Exactly.
So it's just more of who do you think is gonna finish higher? Who has the higher chance? I think Gannon has the higher probability of finishing. Like I think if Ricky has an off week, I think he drops a lot farther than if Gannon has an off week.
Yeah.
So I think Gannon is the safer pick.
There's a lot of sticks at this course too, so Gannon might be the.
Let's go. Let's go. Gannon, Dickerson, and Matty O.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, that's good.
Gannon, Dickerson, Matty O. I did look at Austin Turner. I was looking at that Frisbee flicker. I was looking at it as well. Lefty could be tricky on some of these wooded holes.
I'm just trying to think of anybody else in that tier 4, but I think Matty O went 32nd and 9th, but this has didn't Matty O go the distance here at the match play? Didn't he like push? He pushed to like one of the final matches. I don't know.
Mason Ford could also be nasty at this course too. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be nasty at this course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. Let's rock and roll with that. So those are our picks this week. We'll see how they pan out. Very curious to see what Grip Lock decides.
Yeah.
With those names coming off the board. We'll see how Grip Lock plays it. All right, what else did you want? You had a couple other things you wanted to talk about, Gary?
Well, you said you want to talk about the crazy doubles teams names.
Yes. How do I see this? I've been seeing people talk about it. Where is this? I did a quick Google search. I couldn't find it.
If you go to like dgpt.com, it's like the top news article.
News article.
And there's like you can see the team names there already.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see how easy it is for me to find this. All right. The 10 teams to watch at the doubles.
Yeah. It gives you 10 of them right there.
Okay. So you got Paul and AB.
Does the registration page have the team names? It does. The registration page has the team names on it.
Okay, registration page. We're going there now. Okay. Here we go. 18 majors and counting for Paul McBeth and AB. As far as like cool names, not really. It's more like that's like a flex name, but not really a cool name. Nope, not really like a play on words or anything like that.
They should have did like Luna Battle Pack. It should have been Luna Battle Pack because there's 2 Lunas in the Luna Battle Pack. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like these names got to be fantasy football names.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. So like Luna Battle Pack to me is still a crappy name. That's a product.
All right.
I feel like I want to see fantasy football play on words. Give me something good.
Okay.
This is a good one. I like this. 4 meters of man. James Conrad, Connor O'Reilly. That's a good name.
Yep.
Turns out that they are 4 meters of man. So I actually like that name a lot. Robert Burridge. Does he not have a partner? Who's his partner?
Guess maybe his partner dropped out.
Okay, so right now Robert Burridge is backhands only. So
get up his DMs, everyone. You might get in with him.
Who could be his part? Who was his partner? Backhands only.
Playing Cali. Someone said that'd be crazy.
I don't know who his partner was. Who's another backhands only guy? Was it him and I don't know.
Yeah, that's
not sure. All right, you have Big Sexy, Sexton and Jeremy Colling. I mean, that's their nickname that they have, so whatever. Yeah. Kale LaVisca and Austin, it's him and Wyatt Mahoney. Okay, interesting.
That's fun.
Kayla Visca, Austin Turner. Interesting team here. I think this is probably like a team discraft type of situation, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't. Bob and Dwight. I don't get that. Does anyone know the reference there? I mean, we're talking like Dwight Schrute and Bob Vance refrigeration. I don't get it though. I don't know it. Break 50 is Jesse Nieneman and Albert Tam. I don't understand that one either.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any insight on Break 50?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Again, if it's like an insider joke and no one knows it, it's also a terrible name.
Yep.
I'm gonna put it out there. Terrible name. If no one understands it, terrible name. Or I guess you would have to like come out with a clip quickly explaining what your name is, and then I think it works. But if we're just like, if we don't know what your name is for a really long time, terrible name. Bucket O'Hare. I like this name.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Gavin Phillips, Joseph Anderson. Great name. There's Burge and Mahoney. Okay, there's Wyatt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Break 50 is Bryson's thing. So I don't really know. C-tier Stompers. See, that's a decent fantasy football name. Like, I'm not saying that's a great name, but that's a decent name. Joel Freeman.
That's a ChatGPT fantasy football name.
Joel Freeman, Lucas Carmichael. Cardinal Birdies.
That one makes sense because Kevin is a
Cardinal fan.
Cardinal jersey. No, he's a Cardinal jersey. He's the guy, the owner of Cardinal jerseys.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. See, again, you're doing product stuff. I don't like it. Get this product crap out of here. I don't want product placement in these names.
Ooh, I like
Chasing Snakes. Chasing Snakes.
That's Heaves.
Who's his partner?
Harry Chase.
Okay. Not a bad name. Chicken Tacos. Dickerson and Mason Ford.
I don't know.
Course Maintenance. Again, that's the name of their podcast. Gossage and Ezra. Come on. We got to do better, boys. This is not a promotion for your podcast. This is your one time that you can actually come up with a good name, something clever, something funny.
Oh.
Simon Lizotte, Eagle McMahon, Crush Boys. I mean, it's the same thing as Big Sexy. It's like we've seen it before. Name brand stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Clay Edwards, Jakob Simrod. Check yourself before you clay yourself.
There was an attempt.
Check. That's an attempt. It's a bad attempt, but it is an attempt. I do like check yourself.
Yep.
They should have. See, the problem is it's check yourself before you wreck yourself. And
they should have spelled rec. They should have spelled rec R-E-C because rec as a division in disc golf.
They could have done that.
That's better than clay yourself.
I do like the check, as in where Jakob is from, I believe.
Yep. I don't like the next name.
Dallas Garber and some old guy. Terrible. DGA dog. If I came up, someone said, okay, Brody, if you and Gary are on a team, come up with something good to show them how it works. I would say, I would come up with PDGA Vacation Retreat. See? Yeah. PDGA Vacation Retreat. That's a sick name. Make them have to tell you can't name yourself that.
Yeah.
Okay. DGA Dogs, Sullivan Cole. That's a 2 out of 10, brothers. Fairway Enforcers. Does nothing for me. Bradley and Levi Stout. Nothing for me. What is this?
I don't know.
Frisch Unlimited? I thought Calvin Lundquist was already on a team.
Nope.
Okay. PDGA Vacation Retreat merch drop next week. We got Calvin Heimberg and Gannon Burr. Heimberg. See, I think they could have. I said this on debate night. I think they could have made a play on words with the guy that created the nuclear bomb.
Oh, okay.
Heisenberg or Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Nicholas Gill, Austin Bates. It's Modelo time.
That's fun.
Evan Jones and Luke Humphreys. K. Jumphreys. I mean, we are.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Gary. I didn't have that much hope for these names because the nicknames that people have in disc golf are literally some of the worst.
I'm just looking for any that are
some of the worst. This one doesn't have a name.
Yuli is a team name in here. So
MK Glazers, Evan Scott and Braden Sides. What's MK Glazers? Okay, Mon Brothers, Andrew Marweed and Luke Taylor. No Mish, all makes Michiganders. We're struggling here. Gavin Babcock and Nicholas are the Nuggets. Joey and Eli, parked for the ace. Okay. These are terrible names. What are we doing? Okay, chat. What are we?
They get worse.
Chat, can we just agree that none of these names need to be ever broadcasted? Right? No, don't broadcast any of these names. Please. Just say the two people's names. Don't give these Ricky Wysocki and Adam, they don't have a name. Robinson Bros. Send it and save it. Tall and slim.
I need Yuli to come on here and answer for his.
Team Bob. Team Limonada. Team Parker Yuli. Team Turku. What are we doing? Texas Twists. The Bad News Boys. Not spelling it with a Z.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. The Zacks. Okay, Tree Magnets. Oh wow, Gary. that is an okay name.
Yeah.
Tree Magnets is an okay game. Triple G, I like Triple G. Okay. Greg Barsby, Garrett Gerthy, Twisted Tees. Okay, these are terrible. Oh, Team Magnets is their sponsor. I'm out. Sorry, Gary. I'm out.
It's okay.
No product placement. I thought they
Nope.
just came up with the name.
They're local Lancaster boys, so
I thought they just came up with the name. Too hot. Okay, this is FPO. Too Hot Geese. Nothing new. What is this? Hall and Hanley and Addison? Addy Halls? Is that like an alcoholics? What?
it makes me think of Adderall.
Adderall? Okay. California Girls. Causing a Rivka. Craving a win. Okay, craving a win.
That's good.
Craving a win. Hey, Sarah Hokum and Hannah Wynn. There we go. Craving a win. I like it. Spelled Hannah Wynn's last name. That's a good one. Eminem. I don't hate that either. Emily Weatherman, Ellie Ezra. I don't hate that. Goat Money. Again, it's a flex. I get it. Paige Pierce and Missy Gannon. Bad name. Golden Pines. That might. Does anyone explain? Do we need? What's the name? Is there something there?
I don't know.
Cat Dog. Spelled Katdawg.
Little Nickelodeon reference there.
It's not terrible. It's definitely one of the better ones. Locked In. Terrible name. Sorry. Cadence and Ida. Sorry, terrible name. All right, then we got Madison, Danny, shark bait. What's shark bait? Sting.
Ooh-ha-ha.
Is that it? They
I don't
literally
know.
just took something from Finding
Finding
Nemo that has nothing to do with disc golf
I don't know.
and no play on words. Thankfully, they can all golf because the creativity is not there. Yeah. It's not like, I mean, did they only have 30 minutes to come up with a name? Sting Slingers. Talk Birdie to Me. Okay, not bad. Talk Birdie to Me, not bad. The Donity. Trinity and Rebecca Dawn and the Mandahanos. Okay. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Not a good look for the creativity.
Nico's Punching Bag. Yes. See, that's a great team name.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You could have gone something topical. You could have gone something like Ricky's Firewood.
Where's the spotter?
Where's the spotter? Yes. You could have gone you could have gone the Blind Marshals. The Blind Marshals would have been a good name.
Team 46 seconds. Oh man, they don't want none of this.
Could have gone, where's the money going?
Dead and Unattached is good. I like that a little bit.
Dead and Unattached. That's not bad. Yeah, see, Ricky's Firewood. Webb likes Ricky Firewood. Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's again, the play on words is the big one.
Yep.
Like you could have done something along the lines of like key lime pie, but you spell it like Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
Like you use lime somewhere in there.
Yep. We need to get on Yuli about that next week. That name.
It's tough. It's tough. I don't know if they have time to fix it, but it is tough. Okay. That was fun.
Yeah.
Let's do. I have one other thing. Do you have anything else?
I don't know if you want to talk about like the ticket sales at Worlds. Kind of interesting.
What was that all about? They think they've sold out?
Yeah. So today I think at like 6 p.m. I forget what time zone it was. The general admission went, and they're saying that they're already closing in on having all of the general admission and admission tickets sold out. So it'd be a big deal that Worlds would sell out for the first time.
And pretty ahead of time too. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Mike, did you get the photo I saw this on Reddit, on Disc Golf Reddit, and I don't know if you know this course, Gary. It's called Orchard Park. I just thought this was an absolutely beautiful looking hole. It's one where if they did a little bit more around the actual tee pad, maybe like some red mulch. If they did red mulch around the tee pad, this would be a 10 out of 10 starting hole. But I don't know if anyone's ever played Orchard Park. I believe it's in the Northwest, but they've got these beautiful blooming trees, and this hole just looks incredible. So Mike will throw it up here in a second for you guys to all see if you're watching live.
What's that? Bad. Brad, you're thinking of like Orchard Farms or whatever in Massachusetts.
Oh, look at this, Gary.
Oh, that's pretty.
Look at this. But you see what I'm saying? Like where all that dirt is around the tee pad. If they did like red mulch around that would just all of a sudden make this look insane.
That'd be sweet.
But that's a sick looking starting hole. And I was thinking too, I was like, oh, it looks so much better without the sidewalk. But the thing is like a lot of golf courses have golf cart paths. So
really,
it's not that bad.
What they're missing though, what would really do it for me is if they added some yellow, red, and blue lines to the tee pad. so I can understand my run-ups better. That'd be great. I mean, it would just put it up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What are you going to do? All right. Well, those were our picks. Gary got his King of the Hill in. We got Queen City coming up this week. Hopefully it'll be another exciting. I mean, we've had some really good tournaments so far. I mean, I would say we're 2 for 2.
Yeah,
right?
honestly. And these breaks in between, like, are interesting because we're about to hit a stretch now. Once Champions Cup gets here, I think it's like 6 straight weekends of just event. You know, so.
Oh, I do want to ask you this because this was something I brought up on debate night as well, and I'm curious what you think on this too. So my thought process is if tournaments by themselves, so individually, so remove the Powerball sponsorship, remove any like year-long sponsorships, right? And also remove any of the ads. Okay, you're solely just going off of the money that is generated from the tournament. So that would be and you're also not counting the subscription, right? You're just counting ticket sales and merchandise sales and sponsorship specifically for that tournament, right?
Gotcha.
If the Disc Golf Pro Tour was making a ton of money each event, they would probably have an event every week. Why would you not? Right? If you're making hands over fist, if you're making $100,000, $200,000 of profit, whatever it may be, every single event you put on, you would be doing an event every single weekend. Yep. So what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking two things are coming because I think some people bring up the question of like, why are there breaks? Why don't we have events? Yada, yada, yada. I think it's twofold. I think one, you have someone coming in like Powerball saying, hey, we want X amount of events this year. And so that puts like a number of it of like, you have to hit this many events, right? Because obviously Powerball is not just going to come in and say, hey, we'll give you this amount of money. And then the Disc Golf Pro Tour says, okay, great. We're just going to hold one event, right? Obviously there's got to be something in writing of how many events they have to put on for that money to make sense. And then obviously too, the subscription thing. If you have 10,000 people paying $5 for your subscription, that's $50,000. That money comes in whether there's one event that month yep. or 4 events that month, Gary. Yep. And so when there's 4 events, that $50,000 gets spread evenly across all 4 events. You know, so that's $12,500 per event. Whereas if you just had one event that month, that $50,000 would directly go to that one event. So do you think that is something that is going at play of like how many events they're doing is simply because they got to make a decision on how much, you know, they can't do an event every week because they're going to not make as much money.
Yeah, there's also a tipping point too, because even if you were profitable at every single event, you reach a point where to add more events would require an investment level that you can no longer deal with. So if I wanted to get if I wanted to get 5 more events in the season, I might need more staff. I might need more vehicles for transport, more assets. And if the profit I'm seeing is small enough that if it's good enough to go, we want to do more events, but it's small enough to not be able to sustain the purchase or the expenditure for those new things, then you're willing to sit back on the bubble that you have and make the money that you're making instead of investing in more events. Like if I'm making more money at a business, and if I hire another person, I can make more money, but the hire of that person would be more expensive than I would make. So I think we might get stuck in that a little bit, but I think there is definitely a lot at play. I think it's also an issue of, I'd love to know what the back end is on these courses and venues. Do we have people at these places that just, all it takes is one person who's been doing something for forever to like retire at these local clubs, and then they can't get the people out to work the courses and get them prepared, and you don't have the support. I think it's just I think courses and what we have available on tours is volatile. And so we're just not seeing them maximize their schedule like they could. Plus, they're also including events on the schedule right now, like the Joe Miss Pro Series, which technically isn't part of the Pro Tour in a way. So it's like they're almost artificially inflating the busyness, I think.
See, I think that's where the Powerball comes in too.
Yeah.
Is because they guaranteed again, I'm just guessing. I could be completely wrong, but they guaranteed a certain number of events to Powerball. Powerball said, yes, that works. And I think the Disc Golf Pro Tour, if they were making a crazy amount of money, the Jomez thing wouldn't be a thing. They would just hold their Disc Golf Pro Tour events at all these events.
Yeah.
Right? If you're making a crazy amount of money, what would you like?
I think
does anyone think the Jomez Pro events are going to be better than the Disc Golf Pro Tour events?
Not particularly.
You would assume the Disc Golf Pro Tour event would be better than the Jomez event, right? Like the Jomez event's gonna be a smaller staff, like everything's gonna be reduced.
Yep.
So that's just something that I think the Jomez thing was a way for them to still have some more events, but cut way down on the expense of putting those events on.
It'd be really
It is expensive.
It'd be real interesting to bring somebody in within like the DGPT media space to talk about stuff like how the cameras are positioned and why certain, like what the staffing looks like at these smaller events and that kind of stuff. Because I'd be very curious to know what kind of infrastructure investment goes into a Jomez Pro Series stop compared to a Pro Tour stop. And if it's not all that different, then what can we expect from these events? But if it is vastly different, and let's say it's vastly different, and the Jomez Pro model ends up working really well, makes a lot of money, do we start to
way
see
cheaper?
Yeah, do we start to see more of those and like less large, like less mediocre events? Would the Pro Tour rather run 10 events that are just absolutely insane than 15 events that are like mediocre?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. For sure. But all right, well, that is all we have for you guys this week. We'll be back next week after the Queen City. Is it the Queen City Classic?
Classic, yeah.
The QCC. We'll be after that. Hopefully have the winners on, and anyone else that makes a splash, we'll invite them to come on the show to talk about all the stuff that went down. Thank you guys for watching live. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you all. Gary, Mike, as always, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.